Howdy folks and welcome to another episode of It Came From Facebook. Now, I promise this will be an all-time classic. We have some truly heinous picks that were provided to us by the good folks over at our Discord server who have combed and trawled and crawled and just beat their way through an abominable amount of motorcycle listings. And we have just a litany of all-time classic, crazy, cursed listings for you. There are some really good ones. I cannot wait to show you today. Let's get started with this 1996 Honda CBR going for $11,000 with 20,000 miles. I assume it's a 1,000 because what else would it possibly be? Now, I told you nothing could prepare you, and we're starting off with someone who is clearly living in a different dimension to us mere mortals. This is like a cyber dystopia motorcycle. You got the empty bottles of, I believe, Jack Daniels and some dye and some cards. Clearly a gambling man's motorcycle. It just... Look how crazy this thing looks. I mean, it looks like a bug that kind of has its eyes stretched far up. There's really not a whole lot else you can say about it being just absolutely crazy looking. So this person says, custom built bike, runs and drives great, needs battery and plugs. Well, it doesn't run and drive great if it needs battery and plugs, right? Come on, it probably doesn't even turn them on. I have them on hand, ready to go, one of a kind, open to offers, lots of custom parts. They always say one of a kind, don't they? So I believe this started out life as it looks like a CBR 1000. It's kind of hard to tell. It's from 1996, so kind of an old bike. Who knows when this was built and set up this way? Done by Dark Alley Designs with a Z. And it's called Dark Alley because you're going to want to make sure that you are in a dark alley when you have this thing so you can scare people. And this is one of those listings where the closer you look, the funnier and weirder it gets. So first of all, we have like almost scrambler style tires on this. We have like chunky sidewalls, which is kind of weird. We have a skull hand doing the middle finger near the rear set. That's quite funny. This kickstand is like really weird. It's like down to a point. Absolutely slammed in the triple tree here with the weird like bronze nipples popping out the top here. And the license plate says it all, doesn't it? It says cursed. I don't think it means cursed in the way that I would use the word cursed. I think he thought that it maybe said, ooh, it's dark and demented and cursed. I do think it is cursed, though, for many reasons beyond what they probably think of it as. And so I often tell you guys, look, if you're going to go whole hog and customize a motorcycle to this degree, first of all, maybe time just hasn't been kind to this thing, right? Maybe this was cool when it was customized in like, maybe someone did this in like 2002, you know? Like I have no idea when this was customized because the visual aesthetic of this certainly feels like early 2000s Matrix movie, like cyber kind of like glitch, crime, dark neo-noir type of stuff. You know, that was kind of big back in the day if you didn't live through it like I did. And maybe this was cool, but now who knows how old this thing is? Who knows the problems it has? Who knows what's going on with it? You know, it's got this ridiculous stretch on it, but I don't really think you're going to be winning many drag races in a 1990s CBR. I don't really know what's happening with the photo shoot here with like the empty bottles of Jack Daniels and the dye. It's just like, is it implying that like the person was like, a gambling man is like, oh, you're gonna have to be gambling and, you know, doing drinks and cards. Like, it just feels like a product of a bygone era, you know? So this one, I'm gonna rate it an 8.5 on the kind of like cringe crazy scale. That's what we're working with today. We're gonna work with the cringe and crazy scale and just kind of go from there. Moving on. All right, next up is a more normal listing, but we're going to get weird later with the two. A 2019 Ducati Panigale V4R for $30,000 with 5,005 miles. So, if you don't know, this is the homologated superbike version of the Panigale featuring the 998cc Desmo Sedici Stradale engine making upwards of 230 horsepower. This is a phenomenal bike on track. We actually had one of these as a giveaway bike back in 2023, and we are teeing up to do another Panigale here very soon. Not an R, because those are pretty hard to come by, and the one that I got was a friend of a friend who was selling one. But the funniest thing about this one is the listing description. Let's take a look. He says, rare 2019 V4R, 5,005 original miles, 1 owner. You will not find many of these on the market. For all the noobs who can't tell the difference, this is not the cheaper V4S. It's been garage kept, pink in hand, clean title in my name, has current tags. It's never been tracked, crashed, laid down, or beat to crap. It's never been tracked? So why the hell do you have it, you absolute pussy? Go and take it on the track. That's what this thing was designed to do. I bought one of these as a giveaway bike, and I took it on track. I risked life and limb. I had that thing full pin at the back straight of DCR. I think I did about 158 miles an hour with it. Never been tracked. That makes me so sad, dude. That makes me so sad that this bike probably lived a life just like tooling around town. That's just miserable. All parts original. I have a lightweight sprocket and chain that I never installed. The Kropovich exhaust and up mat installed by dealer. ... 234 horsepower. Like, he drops that bomb. He's like, dude, this bike is so fast. I have original pipe and lower fairing for all the candy asses who think this is not street legal. Maybe it shouldn't be street legal because you should take it on track, you baby. $30,000 OBO. Actually, not a terrible price for this if it's never been abused and has the Kropovich exhaust. Those are crazy expensive on these. That's like a $7,000 exhaust. So maybe he doesn't know that because he's the noob himself. If you see this ad, it's still for sale. Lowball offers, and I don't know what that is, will be deleted and blocked. No test jockeys. Still riding. Your mileage may vary. Trade for built-out VW Ohvale. No clue what that is. This is a man's bike. A man who's got cash, not a squid looking for more than he can afford. Why are you talking like this, dude? Why don't you just be normal? And maybe take your damn V4R to the track. Maybe you're the candy ass, boy. Maybe you got to get good. So, this is a very pristine, well-kept V4R. It's bringing back memories to the one that we did back in 2023. Had so much fun with this motorcycle. Absolutely fantastic bike on track. This one's been very well kept, obviously, because the owner is a candy ass who never took it to the track and never did anything with it. So, easy enough. It's got all the top shelf components, the finest Olin suspension on it, not electronically adjustable because it is the homologated version. That Kropovich exhaust looking beautiful as well. He's got the little clear clutch cover over here because these are the race bikes. They had the dry clutch set up on it. And these are fantastic. They're really fantastic bikes. Honestly, 30 grand is really not that bad of a price. You will, however, at 7,500 miles of ownership on this, incur a very tasty service bill for this thing. This is the full-blown Ducati experience when it comes to service, so you will absolutely have to pay a lot for the service on this machine. Carbon fiber winglets, all the good stuff, so we'll give it a 7 for the cringe crazy rating because this listing description was very funny, but otherwise a very normal, clean, beautiful bike that doesn't come up for sale very often. Moving on. All right, next up, 2007 Suzuki Boulevard M109R2 for $5,000. Not too bad, 28,000 miles. I like that it's posted up in front of somebody's balling on a budget Midwest house right here. Looks like some foliage and architecture style from just like anywhere in the middle of the country, kind of looks like. I love that he's paired it with the orange BMW. This guy's got some fun taste. He's a splashy kind of dude. Let's take a look. 2007 Suzuki M109R. Custom green, head turner, ready to ride if you're looking for a powerful cruiser that stands out everywhere it goes. This is it. 1783cc V-twin, lots of power. The green paint, LED lighting, looks insane at night. Clean bike, runs strong, shaft drive, low maintenance, comfortable seat with the passenger backrest. Aftermarket exhaust sounds great, always maintained. Now, the M109R, if you're not familiar, was Suzuki's kind of big muscle cruiser attempt. I have not seen one of these in this green color. I think, yeah, he says it's a custom green. I don't know if this headlight is stock, but that's like a crazy, like, engorged, ugly front headlight on this thing. Look at, what the heck is that? Maybe he's got the Huffy bar little pad right there, which is kind of nice. The levers look like they're blades of some type. Look at the air filter. The air filter is like a pointy cone of death. Maybe he's going to go jousting with this thing. Maybe you come up really close to somebody on the opposite direction, just, yeah, stab them to death and just keep going on your way. Assert dominance on the M109R. So it looks like we have a little skull back here to support the backrest. And then I'm seeing, if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be Joker stuff. I see Why So Siri and then Aha. I'm telling you guys, you can take the Busa away from the Busa boy, but you cannot take the Busa boy out of the man. I'm telling you, dude, like Suzuki guys who like the Joker, they like the green, they are from a different era. I don't know why so many guys went into this aesthetic, but it just like became such a thing. These are like not this bike specifically, but I've seen Hayabusas like this. I've seen Harleys like this. I've seen Suzuki B Kings like this. I've now seen an M109R. I will say, I mean, most of those happen to be either Suzuki products or hogs, right? And it's just so consistent with the kind of like Joker, LED lights, custom paint. It's like a whole thing. So it looks like he put on a little leather underwear on the gas tank right here. Got a nice little leather thong for the bike right there. Why so serious? This looks like a cartoon drawing of like a big fat green egg with like a beanie on top. Actually, this looks like it could be its soul patch. If you squint, you can kind of look at this whole thing. This is his big soul patch. The lead singer from that band from the 90s, System of a Down. My God, Suzuki M109R. And look, he's rolling with somebody with blue LEDs on the bottom right here. It's just that kind of crowd, man. If you ain't about that, you ain't about that. Moving on. All right, 2025 KLR sidecar, $25,000 with 300 miles on it. 25 grand? Custom 2025 Kawasaki KLR650 sidecar motorcycle with LBS sidecars, USA pack mule setup, driving lights, heated grips, bags, ready to tour. Can also equip with Ural sidecar tub for passenger. Lord have mercy, how are you getting a 25 grand on this thing? I have a little Kendon 3-rail trailer that I think I paid like 4 grand for, brand new. I don't think it was much more than that. Producer Logan wrote here, is this the doohickey mod all the KLR guys are going on about? It might be the doohickey mod there. But I'm not understanding how we're getting to $25,000 for this. The bike, brand new, is like 7, maybe 6.5. Materials here to build this, $1 grand, maybe 2. Like I said, my Kendon 3-year-old trailer was like $4,500. So is it the labor that just, somebody spent, 100 hours putting this thing together? I don't understand how we're getting to such a ridiculous price on this. It does look like it's very well assembled. I'm seeing the wiring's nice and tucked in here. It looks like we have some really well thought out componentry to do the whole sidecar rig. But dude, I'm not understanding where you're getting 25 grand for this. That's absolutely crazy. And I guess it's got like a utility rail system here. The type of person that would want to do a utility sidecar KLR build, that might be a group of like 6 guys in the known universe, Well, like I said, look at that up close. I mean, that all looks really nice and clean. This is a really nice job. This looks like nice materials. Somebody really made this nice, But 25 grand, to me, this is like a $5,000 accessory at best on top of a $6,000-$7,000 KLR. This should cost like 12 grand, maybe. So I don't know where 25 came from. So I'm going to give you a 10 out of 10 delusional score and maybe like a 6 out of 10 cringe score. Moving on. We have finally ended the streak of piddly middleweight sport bike giveaways on YamiNoob.co. 2026 is feeling different because I've got this fire-breathing 175 horsepower V4 motorcycle right here up for grabs on YamiNoob.co. Click the link down below and support the show. Become a member today for your best chance to win this machine and have it show up in your driveway. You're not going to want to miss it. This is one spicy meatball, and I hope it goes to one of you watching right now. Click the link and check it out. Now back to the show. All right, an absolute classic over here. 01 Hayabusa, fully custom, $11,500. I've been saying this for years. Custom Busas are all between $11,000 to $13,000. They have been since I have been doing this series since like 2017, since I've been looking at used bikes and making fun of them on the internet. They have not changed. So I guess you could say, given inflation and given the value of the dollar, these are actually depreciating in real terms, right? Because yeah, 11 grand back in 2017, as many of you know, is not 11 grand nowadays. That's for damn sure. And this one's quite funny. This guy just says, "01 Busa fully custom, a lot of money in this bike." That's it. And then we have the shoes of the raptured soul that showed up on this. You have a half helmet and a full helmet and just a pair of shoes. So I don't know if the guy got off the bike, took his shoes off, and then wandered over there and snapped a nice little photo of the bike, or if more likely than not, he stepped off of this motorcycle and then was simply raptured up to the great Busa god in the sky. He got his time done on the Busa and he just went up on there. So we have these crazy custom blade wheels, the insane paint job, of course, a green yelling skull, chrome frame. This is just the total, early 2000s Busa. Like, this is what you did back then. Sometimes I like talking on this channel. I'm like, things were better in the mid 2000s. And sometimes I look at this and I'm like, thank God this has been relegated to the dustbin of history. I don't think we need to bring this back. I'm not going to lie. I did have a lot of fun with my Hayabusa, though. Really love that bike. All right, now we're cooking. 1990 Harley-Davidson Springer. $10,000 of 50,000 miles on fire. So let's see what the seller says. 1990 Softail Springer Standard, 50,000 miles on bike, 3,500 on motor. Built 97-inch stroker Evo with high compression SNS heads and a fat cam. Best running Evo you'll come across. Yes, it has flamethrowers. Trade for other cool shit. I like this guy. I like that he's just like, yeah, I have some crazy, 40-year-old Harley that shoots flames. And he's like, if you got some cool shit, I'll trade for it, brother. Hell yeah. Screaming Eagle on the gas tank, the teal blue, and the light leather match right here, the stitching on the seat. Honestly, it's kind of a vibe. I can see the person who took the photo right here in the reflection wearing some high vis. Of course they are. They got to stay safe. You want to make sure you're visible on the motorcycle that's belching fire out the rear end. Now, I'll be totally honest, I'm not too familiar with the Harley-Davidson world. I know that the Springer word indicates for the front suspension right here. You can see, if I can find a good photo of it, it has the exposed springs up at the front, kind of like the double leg thing. Beyond that, though, I would not be able to tell you the specs or if this is a good model or anything like that. My Harley-Davidson knowledge is very limited. But I'll tell you what, brother, this thing's shooting flames. And I do like that. I think that's pretty cool. I think he literally has a flamethrower setup, because I think this looks like some sort of line from somewhere else. I'm not really sure how this is set up. I've never set up a flamethrower motorcycle. I have, however, used a flamethrower, which was pretty sweet, but I've never seen a purposeful rear end flamethrower like this. But you do gotta love that this he's got it spitting flames next to a bunch of grass, next to a bunch of wildlife. He's like, if it all catches on fire, I don't care, man. I'm going to go out the way I came into this world, hot and ready. But yeah, this one, I'm liking it. I wish I had some cool shit to trade for it. How much does he want for it? 10 grand? Maybe worth. I have no idea, but I would prefer to just trade cool stuff, or I want to exist in a bartering system with this guy. I just want him to be my neighbor, and then we just trade cool shit for each other. We go out and find interesting objects and just swap them back and forth. I think that could be a great relationship. Moving on. All right, this one's a bit of an oddball one, but if you know, you know. A 2025 Ohvale GP-0 going for $6,000 with 300 miles on it. These are really tiny little GP bike training tools. So in Spain and in some parts of the US as well, these are utilized as training tools for road racers. So people will use these on kart tracks and build up their skill sets, because the chassis are incredibly stiff. The whole setup is incredibly dialed in, and basically like a tiny little itty bitty race bike. And so a lot of the inputs and a lot of the feelings you get out of the GP-0, you can then take to actual race bike track day, and it all translates. So this guy says Ohvale GP-0 110 manual. So that's pretty sweet. It's got a manual transmission, 110cc single cylinder, ASV levers, brake guards, body sliders, brand new bike, used twice. Oh my God. What? 1.6 hours will include front and rear stand tire warmers, over 7K into the bike. My loss, your gain. That's insane. Actually, that's a really, I didn't even think about the price. This is a really good deal for an Ohvale. These are like well over 10 grand. I just remembered. I wonder why this guy is selling it after using it so little. Maybe he had an accident of some type and can't ride it anymore or something like that. Or maybe it just wasn't really what he was looking for, didn't fit him. But these are like, these are so specific to what people need. You know, it's like you need a tiny itty bitty training tool, track day motorcycle. Again, much like the KLR sidecar audience, the type of person that would buy this, maybe a couple dozen. I'm not even kidding. Like maybe there's like 100 people in, I wouldn't say the world. That's crazy. Maybe in the US, maybe 1,000 in the whole. You know, it's a really small number. It's a really, really small number of people who would actually want to buy this thing because it's such a specific use case. This is not a pit bike. It's not a Grom. This is like basically a competition machine, but just shrunk down. So very unique, very cool. And shoot, if you found an Ohvale for 6 grand and you're in market, that's a hell of a screaming deal. Well, goddamn. 2008 Yamaha Morphous. Morpheus? I think he maybe missed an E there, but maybe Morpheus is copyrighted by The Matrix. $3,700, going for peanuts, boys. 5,200 miles. Seller description is incredible on this one. Are you ready to turn heads, raise eyebrows, and possibly confuse your neighbors? Up for grabs is the legendary 2008 Yamaha Morphous 250cc. Well, he wrote it Morphous twice, so maybe it is Morphous. I feel like there should be an E there. It's sleek, low slung, and let's be honest, it's unapologetically purple. A very fast, very aerodynamic wonder. I feel like this was written by AI because of the little M dash. Even though this is a beast on the street, it's wallet friendly when you get to the pump. It's nearly 8 feet long, incredibly low to the ground, and features a smooth, rounded front end that cuts through the wind with ease. Certainly an AI listing description. With such low mileage, just over 5,200, and like new condition, this is a bargain and a dream find. So that last bit feels like it was written by a human, but the rest of it, I feel like was certainly written by AI. Mostly because basically nobody uses complete sentences and M dashes like that on listing descriptions, I do have to say. So let's take a look, man. The flying shoe, the weird Yamaha Morpheus. I feel like this might be the most emblematic of late 2000s culture that I've ever seen. Because nothing screams the good times will never end like making this scooter. Like, oh my god. Okay, it is called the Morphous because it doesn't have the E. Yeah, it's not Morpheus. I must be thinking of The Matrix. So, cruiser style handlebars, Calvin Klein. That's a first for me. Calvin Klein key tag. This guy's thinking of men's underwear every time. I mean, that's part of the Morpheus. I want to say Morpheus. The Morphous's whole shtick, right? You think of men's underwear, you open up the glove box, you got a few contraceptives ready to go so you can have some fun with the boys. Your long purple phallic steed ready to go with 2 compartments. This is the unapologetic, unashamed scooter. I'm not sure who would own this other than it being a complete gag gift, but you gotta say, it's kind of interesting. Man, I tell you what, though, I've been searching for what the next meme machine could possibly be here on the channel, and maybe it's time to get one of the crazy cursed scooters from the mid-2000s. The Yamaha the Honda DN01, you have the Yamaha Morphous, a Suzuki Bergman. There's many, many scoots that could do this. I can't believe the wheelbase on this sucker. Look how long this thing is. This has, like, Akira bike styling. And trust me, there's a reason that we do not do that on modern motorcycles. So that's certainly a rare bird, an oddball if I've ever seen it. I'm kind of tempted. How much? $3,700? Man, for a couple memes, that ain't too bad. You know, pick that up, toss it around, do some dumb stuff with it, and then let it go off into the great beyond in the sky, because I don't think anybody should own a purple 8-foot-long Yamaha Morphous. If I'm mispronouncing that, someone in the comments let me know. I'm sure you already have by now. But boys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Some interesting cursed crazy listings for you. I hope you had some fun. If you want to join the conversation, have some fun with us, check the top of the video, join on Yamaha.co, you get involved, you send me some listings, we hang out, we have fun. It's a great time in the Discord server. I've been running the thing for like almost 8 years now, which is unbelievable. I launched it in like October of 2018, so tons of fun, really enjoy it. Thanks so much for checking out today's video. I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.